Hello friends, today I'm going to tell you about my project which is a Twitter sentiment analysis application. So what we're going to do is we are going to fetch tweets from Twitter and we are going to analyze the sentiment of the tweet, whether it is in a positive sense, that is it is praising someone or something, or is it in a negative sense, or is it in a negative sense, that is it criticizing someone or something, or is it of neutral sense. So basically it's a sentiment analysis application and it deals on the topic of natural language processing. So basically, what we are going to do is analyze the sentiment of a tweet by fetching them, and for that we are going to use the Twitter API. So we will access the Twitter API and then we will fetch the tweets and then we will try to predict whether the tweet is in a positive or in a negative sense. That is it praising or is it criticizing someone? And accordingly, we will plot a graph of the same, how the sentiment has progressed over time. Sentiment can be of a person or of a thing. Basically, it can be a review of someone or it can be an opinion. We are not concerned with that. You can search for any particular thing or any particular topic and accordingly run the search and get the tweets and get a rough idea of how the sentiment of that particular person or particular thing is right now and how it has progressed over time. So basically this is the code. The user interface that we are using is Python Tkinter. So the Python Tkinter interface will be used to interact with the user. So here is the code which deals with the creation of a Tkinter frame. So this is the code which is dealing with how to create a Tkinter frame. That's I wanted to tell. That's what I wanted to tell. So now let's go to the for to the main function, to the main part which will be executed first. So here we form a Tkinter window and accordingly let me show you. So here is our program. uh, the five parameters which are going to be used in the processing of our tweet is the query, obviously the name of the person whom we want to search. Basically it can be it is our main basically the point which we want to search. The it can be name of someone or something. This is the main query, this is the main part whom about whom I want to search. It's the language, it can be default, can be any language, or I can particularly choose English or Hindi. The result type that I can choose is again the default is which is the mixed result type, and the recent and the popular. The popular means the most popular tweets, recent means the current the recent tweets, and mix means a mix of what. Default is the mix obviously, and if the user does not know and the what mixed popular and recent means, he can just use default until the past days, past 1 day, 2 days, past 9 days, or basically the current tweets that we are having right now. So this is the basic and the number of tweets that we want to fetch, that we have to enter. So basically these are the five parameters according to which that window have been created, according to which our query would be run. So basically again, so here again we are creating the query, the window, and there is all the Tkinter code and everything is being converted. And there you go, the command. When I click that submit, but when I click the submit button, the command that would be run would be the check command here. So we are going to fetch query language, all the parameters which are here, all the parameters which are present here. We are going to fetch that. So after fetching again, we set the flag to 0 and we check whether it's a valid input or not. If its query is not there, the count is not there. So see this, that if the query or the count is not there, so it will show an error. The count will be converted to the integer because we are entering a string, so it will be converted to the integer and flag would be 1. and again if it fails to convert, that means the count was invalid. Again, if flag is equal to 1, we are going to shift to the next part of the program. We are going to go to the t let me show you. So here we go, we go to the TC function. So we pass all the query language result type days and count. So as the first line says, API is equal to Twitter client. Here we are accessing the API. So this is the point which we at which we access the Twitter API. So we create an object of the Twitter client class. So let me take you to the Twitter client class. So class Twitter client, this is the class that we will use to access the Twitter API. This is the generic class for sentiment analysis. So this is the class that will be used to access the API. Now, as you can see, we initialize 4 key parameters, which is consumer key, consumer secret, access token secret. Basically to create basically to access the Twitter API, you need to have a developer account first of all. So when you make a developer account, these are the 4 keys which will be provided to you and which you have to enter to access the Twitter API. It is going to be accessed through a developer account basically. So there we enter the consumer key, consumer secret, and access token secret for authorization. And finally, we access the API. So here it is a we created Tweepy API object to fetch the tweets. What Tweepy is? Tweepy is a Python package which helps us to access the API, which helps us to deal with the Twitter API. It's a Python package which we have imported uh, at the top. So there you go. If we are able to successfully authorize and access the Twitter API, it will help us to move ahead in the program. Otherwise, it would be an error. If anything is wrong, it would be an authentication error. So there we have initialized the we have accessed our Twitter API, and the class has been initialized, the object of the class. So here we go back to the TC function. Here the object has been created of and it has been initialized, and we have been able to access the Twitter API if our program has run successfully till now. Now, as I said, tweets equal to API or tweets equal to API dot get tweets query language result type days count. So basically we pass these 5 parameters into the get tweets function in the Twitter client class. So this is the Twitter client class, as you can see, and this is the get tweets function. This is the main function of this Twitter client class, to fetch tweets and to pass them. So first of all, again, let me show you with the help of there you go. The flag is equal to, if result type is default, so default result type is mixed. If the user does not know what is the actual meaning of the 3 words, he can simply use default. And again, the days, it's current, it means all the tweets from now to the next 24 hours. So if we are fetching the current tweets, all the tweets within the next 24 hours will be fetched. Otherwise, simply the if we have to enter the past days, the user can choose from the drop down, and the past days would be accordingly subtracted with the date that is now, and he can access the past tweets. The it can access tweets up to the past 9 days over here. So and obviously there's the language choice as well, English or Hindi. If you want a particular language, you can choose it. Otherwise, obviously it's going to include all the language. So similarly, if the language is English or Hindi, the flag is going to remain 1. Otherwise, the flag would become 0. Now, so here we create an so first of all we form the date from the date time. Now we actually the affine means that final date. So basically the x which was calculated above, we form the date out of the the date that we calculated according to month, year, and d. We extract it. The month means the m and year y and date d, and finally we form the final date, the year plus month plus date, which we are going to use in our Twitter query, because in our query it enters it needs the date, so we need to form that actual date, and we need to pass that to our query. So here is that empty. So we create an empty list to store the past tweets. So whatever tweets which we are going to access, which we are going to parse, will be stored in the tweets. This is the list. So try we call the Twitter API to fetch the flag is equal to 0. So that means that if flash is so self.api search query count result uh, type until again tweet mode extended and include entities too. So if the flag is 0, that means the language was neither Hindi nor English, so it's the default all language going to be fetched, so the language parameter is not included over here, right? So if the flag is equal to 0, so these are the parameters which will be passed, language would not be passed, and tweet mode extended means all the entire tweet would be fetched, not just the first few lines, the entire tweets which be fetched on all the entities would be included again. So if the flag is equal to 1, it means the either if either the if the flag is equal to 1, as we had said above, that means the language was either English or Hindi, and accordingly fetch tweet self API dot search uh, query count language again either Hindi or English result, and the rest of it is absolutely the same. Okay, so for passing tweets, so we enter this loop for passing tweets one by one. Here we have fetched the tweets, right? We have called the API, and let's now we are going to pass them with the help of the loop. So for tweet in fetch tweets, we in fetch tweets we the tweets that we have fetched, we run a loop. Empty dictionary to store the parameters of the tweet. This is an empty dictionary to store the parameters of the tweet, as you will understand as we move further. If retweeted status in directory tweet, basically the tweet that we have fetched, if the retweeted status is true, so the past tweet text, the text parameter will be fetched using the retweet status full text. So because if the tweet is a retweet, then we have to use the retweeted status full text, then we will retrieve the full text of the tweet. Otherwise we will simply use the full text. We will retrieve the full text of the tweet. If it is not a retweet, basically we can simply retrieve the full text. Otherwise we have to use the retweeted status to extract the full text. So here we extract the text of the here we extract the text of the tweet, and we have saved the text of the tweet in the dictionary parse tweet, and now we are going to save the sentiment of that tweet. Basically, the tweet that we are talking about, the sentiment of the tweet is again we send the full text over here, the tweet dot full text, and we try to get the sentiment of the tweet. So let's go here. This is the get sentiment of the tweet. So this is the utility function to classify sentiment of past tweet using text block sentiment method. So text block so create text block object of past tweet text analysis equal to text block self dot clean tweet. So basically here we have passed the tweet, if you guys have noticed. So here again the tweet dot full text is there that we have passed. So this is the tweet later, it contains the full text of the tweet. So basically what text blob is, it is a Python package that is built upon NLTK, natural language toolkit, which helps us in dealing with a lot of natural language processing activities. So basically we can perform a lot of natural languages basically we can perform a lot of natural language processing uh, function with the help of the text block package. In this case we are concerned with the sentiment analysis. Okay, so clean tweet, I will explain this further. So what is the clean tweet? So clean tweet means that a tweet is passed into this function over here. There's a utility function to clean text by removing links, special characters, or using simple reject statements. So basically, all the links or special characters would be removed, and for that we are using simple reject statement. So basically, here it would be the tweet would be split on any such special character or link, and then it would be joined without the special character or and the link. So basically, we clean the tweet before our sentiment analysis. So basically, analysis equal text blob, self dot clean tweet. We get a clean tweet where it has been cleaned from all special characters and links. So our tweet is now ready for sentiment analysis. And finally, we get use text blob to get sentiment of the tweet. Now, analysis of sentiment dot polarity. What polarity is this? Is that when we when we use text blob to analyze the sentiment of something of a text, basically it returns a parameter called polarity. So the if the polarity is greater than zero, then a tweet is a positive tweet. If the polarity is equal to zero, it is a neutral tweet. Basically, we're talking about the text. If the polarity is greater than zero, then the text blob. If the polarity is greater than zero, that means it's a positive text. If the polarity is equal to zero, that means it is a neutral text. And if the polarity is less than zero, that means it's a negative text. So the range is between -1 to 1. The text blob polarity that because when we use sentiment analysis using when we do sentiment analysis using text blob, it returns a as it returns as a parameter called polarity, which we can use to identify the text of the sentiment in which we can use to identify the sentiment of the text, which in our case is the tweet, obviously. So if a polarity of the tweet is greater than zero, that means if text block returns the polarity of the tweet greater than zero, it means the tweet was positive. If text block returns polarity of the tweet equal to zero, it means the tweet was neutral. And if text blob returns the polarity of the tweet less than zero, which is covered in this else statement, that means the tweet was negative. So basically, polarity greater than zero means positive, polarity equal to zero means neutral, and polarity less than zero means negative. Our text blob will return us this parameter called polarity, which we will use to judge whether the tweet was positive, neutral, or negative. Polarity greater than zero of the tweet means the tweet was positive, equal to zero neutral, and else means less than zero means negative. The range of polarity is between -1 to 1. So the text block returns us a value between -1 to 1, and accordingly we use it to analyze our sentiment. So basically we return this sentiment, and here this sentiment is stored here. So in past tweet we have the text also, we have the sentiment also. So we have the text of the tweet also, and we have the sentiment of the tweet also. So both have been stored in the dictionary that we created, past tweet. Now we have to append the tweet to the tweet list. The tweet list that the tweets. This is the tweet list that this is the tweet list. This is the tweet list that we created. We have to append the tweet to that tweet list. If tweet.retweet count is equal is greater than zero, if the tweet has retweets, ensure that it is appended only once. If past tweet not in tweets, tweets dot append past tweet. Basically, if it's a retweet, then then it's possible that we could have come across it multiple times. Only if it has not been amended before should we amend it, otherwise we should not amend it. Else if it is not a retweet, just simply amend it. Tweets dot append past tweets. So we have appended the tweet that we were processing. The sentiment has been analyzed, the text and sentiment has been stored with us, and the tweet has been appended once. If it's a retweet, it has been appended only once, right? So all the tweets are appended once, and finally we are returning the tweets. If any error is there, it is printed. So there we go, we return our tweets after the sentiment analysis. So there here was the function that we were calling, tweets equal to api.get tweets. So this is the so now tweets contains all our past tweets along with their sentiments and their text, right? So tweets have their, so this is the tweets which has everything for everything from the past tweets, the send with the sentiment and the text, the tweets that we have processed. Now all the positive tweets are separate. For tweet in tweets, we run a loop in tweets, and if tweet dot sentiment equal to positive, if tweet dot sentiment equal to positive, so it is going in p tweets. If similarly we calculate the percentage also, len of tweets upon the len of positive tweets, all the positive tweets with sentiment positive go into p tweets, and accordingly we know the length of the total tweets and the length of the positive tweet, and we calculate the probability, how much is the percentage, basically how much of them are the positive tweets that we calculate. Similarly, these are the neutral tweets. The sentiment, sorry, this is the negative tweets. If the sentiment is negative, then it is going in and if this is going in n tweets, the negative, basically n tweets means negative tweets. So tweet with sentiment negative go in n tweets, and accordingly length of total tweets upon length of negative tweets, we calculate the percentage of negative tweets, and accordingly if the sentiment is neutral, it goes in neutral tweets, the NT tweets, and again the neutral tweet percentage we calculate again into 100 minus length tweets, basically total tweets whatever we have, we subtract the negative and the positive tweets out of the total tweets to get the neutral tweets, and again accordingly we calculate our percentage, right? So there you go. You can basically use the length of neutral tweets also, so that's not any issue in that. Basically what we are trying to say here is that the neutral tweets plus the negative tweets plus the positive tweets would be our total number of tweets fetched. So we have the positive tweets, we have the negative tweets, we have the positive tweets in p tweets, the negative tweets in n tweets, and the neutral tweets in NT tweets. So these are the basic three list in which we have the different tweets according to their sentiment, and accordingly we have calculated their probability also. PP means positive percentage, NP means negative percentage, and NTP means neutral percentage. So PP positive percentage, NP negative percentage, and NTP neutral percentage. And accordingly we also, whenever, so it's like with open positive text as in file dot write, again with open negative text as file handle, file dot write again np pp, and again with open date dot text, date display. Okay, so what here we are doing is we are opening three files, basically these are the three files: positive, negative, and date. So basically, and we are writing the positive and the negative probability because we are mostly concerned about graph when between positive and negative and negative. So we are basically concerned with the graph between positive and negative sentiment, positive and negative tweets. So we write positive, we store, so basically we store all the positive tweets here in the positive file, and the negative tweets in the negative file, and date on which the function was run is also stored accordingly. So in date.txt, the date now, basically the date at which we are running the function, the date and time at which we are running the application, that is stored. So basically it's in reference to one particular topic. If I am concerned, if I am searching about one particular topic throughout the course of time, so all the results of that particular topic are put in this data file. It is written, the percentages is written, and the date at which I date at which I run the application is also written in the separate files. So basically uh, this is the positive files with all the positive percentages that I have got till date. Negative file which stores all the negative percentages that I've got whenever I run the program, and this is the date, the date at which the dates on with the date and time on the date and time on which I have run the program. So this is the date. So basically this positive sentiment, this negative sentiment was fetched on this date. Likewise, like you see, the last positive sentiment, the last negative sentiment was fetched on this date, this date and time. All these are sentiments of one particular topic. In this case it's Donald Trump, the current president of the United States. I you I as I searched about searched tweets about him throughout the course of time, throughout these different times, and accordingly one particular topic we can store our results like this. So in this case all the tweets are relating to the current president of the United States, that is Mr. Donald Trump, and I'm going to run and show you the demo as well afterwards. So here we are going. So basically all the results whenever we run the program along with the date and time when we have run the program is written in the text files. So now we call the display function. Accordingly we display the positive percentage, negative the percentage, neutral percentage, positive tweet, negative tweets, neutral tweets, everything has been sent to the display function. So let's go to the display function now. So this is the display function, right? This is the display function. So first I think I should, okay, so this is the display function. First we convert the probabilities into string, right? These are the basically a frame and everything that is form. Let me show you. Let me run the program. Okay, so the query in our case is Donald Trump. Number, so let it be default only. Number of tweets is 100. And now let me submit it. Okay, so this is what we are getting: the positive percentages, the negative, and the neutral percentages. So this is what the display function is doing. So here we have the results. So basically all the percentage has been converted into string, and it is showing over here, like as I said, it is showing over positive in green, negative in red, neutral in gray, right? And we have formed the tick enter buttons at the end basically, and every button holds the specific command. Positive neutral positive results is to basically see the positive tweets, neutral results to see the neutral tweets, negative results to see the negative tweets, and graph progression through to see how the graph has progressed over the course of time. So this is the command for the displaying positive tweet, this is the command for displaying negative tweets, sorry, this is the command for displaying neutral tweets, this is the command for displaying negative tweets, and this is the command for displaying the graph. So accordingly all the four buttons: positive tweets, negative tweets, positive tweets, neutral tweets, negative tweets, and the graph. So let me go back and let me show you over here. So as we go in positive tweets and program, so this is the positive tweets function to show the positive tweets. This is the negative tweets function to show the negative tweets. You can see positive results, you can see negative results, and you can see here neutral and yes, the positive, the negative, and the neutral results, as you can see here. So these are the functions, right? The This is for the positive results. Again, okay, so these are the three functions: for the positive, for the negative, and the neutral results. So now we have to here notice one thing. Okay, so let me show you one thing that we have to notice here. So basically in tweets we also use emojis, right? Emojis are also used in tweets. For that we use this t is equal to text, basically text dot translate non BMP map. So basically here we are using non BMP, basically it's dictionary from keys. From basically what this does is BMP means BMP means our basic multilingual plane. Basically, what the tweets are using, it's the Unicode, right? So the basic multilingual plane, it's also called plane zero. So it contains most of the characters. But what when we use emojis, they don't fall in that BMP. They are non-BMP characters. They are not in that basic multilingual plane. So for that, we use a dictionary to accordingly translate them to the Unicode, to the character that can be processed. So basically that's what we are using here. So in case we come across any emoji, it is going to be translated according to our dictionary. So in that case we can process the emojis also through text, and we can display them. So this is the positive result, this is our negative result, and this NT, this is a neutral result, right? So we have positive for P and negative for N and neutral for NT. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, there are the positive results that we are showing you. It's in green. So these are all the positive results. These are the neutral results which are showing in gray, right? And these are the negative results that is showing in red, right? These are the negative results. And now let's go for graph progression. As I said, when we click on graph progression, the command grp is executed. So this is from graph import grp. This is the command or importing graph. Basically this is a separate function which is used to, this is the graph file, and this is the grp function which is used to which is used to make the graph. Again, we open the positive file handle to get all the positive results, again convert it to a float for the probabilities, and again the np is there, and we open the, it is basically an empty list. pp is the empty list, negative, positive. The graph is between only the negative and the positive, right? So the negative is there, the positive is there. So negative.txt is open in read mode. R means read mode, and in that case it was w, it was write mode. Let me show you over here. This is file handle dot write, it was write mode, right? So here it's R, it's read mode, right? So it's in read mode. So basically again we read the text, and line by line we fetch the percentage which is already written in the file throughout the course of time whenever we have basically run the program. So when we have run our program once, the new percentage, the new date and time has already been written, right? So the new percentage, date and time has already been written. Now we are going to tabulate the graph. Basically we're going to fetch uh, the history. Basically whenever we have run the program and what percentage we have got, the history would be fetched. The history is stored in the file, we are going to fetch it, all the probabilities that we have got along with the corresponding date and time. Again we append it to the current list, and finally we convert it to float because we are displaying the probability, right? And so this is for date as well. We append the date, and here is how we show the, we make basically a matplot basically here we made a python graph with the help of obviously matplotlib library. Matplotlib, the python library, we are making our graph. So it is basically date time. Okay, so I think first let me show you the graph, and then I'll explain. So here is the graph progression. This is how the graph has progressed. See, this is how positive sentiment has gone up a bit, so for Donald Trump, but accordingly the negative sentiment has also gone up a bit, right? So let me show you over here. So this is all the date and time according to which uh, our program has progressed with 2019 7/5. I'm sorry if it is the screen recorder. So accordingly, you can see 19/5, basically the year and the month. Basically, I run the program multiple times on this date, and this period of time. So there are a lot of values, and accordingly, as it has progressed, whenever we have learned, whenever we have run, we have this. We are getting the plot of how our sentiment is progressing over time our with our uh, with our analysis, with the help of our sentiment analysis application, right? Let me, okay, so here it is clearly visible now, right? So you can see how it has progressed over time. This is our latest value, the latest that we have got. It's a date and time graph, basically how throughout the date and time how the sentiment has progressed. We are plotting that, right? So let me go to the graph again and say it's a date plot date. Basically we are using, it's a date and time graph, and we are using that to plot our sentiment. Okay, so this was the application. As you can say, as you can see, this is the application, right? Throughout we can see how the sentiment has progressed with the help of this. Green means for positive and N means for negative, right? So here is the analysis. We can see the tweets, we can see the graph progression. As you can see over there, we can see the positive in green, negative in red, neutral in gray, and accordingly neutral percentage is not shown over here because it's not needed, and the P for positive, and the green is for positive, and the N is for, basically the red is for negative, right? Negative N. So this is how the green has progressed, this is how the N has progressed over time. If we run it more frequently, like if we run it every 15 days or every month, we get more values. Like I said, I run it multiple times over here, so I got a lot of values over here, and accordingly we get our values as we progress. All our values are stored in our text file, so we always get a result about a particular topic, how the sentiment has progressed. So in this case, it was the U.S. President Donald Trump, whose sentiment I analyzed over the course of time, right? Whose sentiment has been analyzed over this course of time. So you can do it for any particular topic. Basically, it's the query part. You can put in any query, and accordingly, you get the sentiment of the query that you have put in, and you get a plot also, and you get a desired result also. So that was the project. We By using Python API, we access the tweets and we analyze the sentiment of the tweet, and we plotted the resulting graph, like I said over here. So this is the entire purpose of a program, to plot the graph and see how the sentiment of a particular thing or a particular person is progressing over time. So thank you for listening, friends, and have a nice day.